Welcome back, FHN, to this week's episode of The Nightly Show.
I'm Laney.
And I'm Freya, and today we're coming to you from a rainy Friday morning here at North.
That's right, Freya. What can we expect on today's show?
Great question. We're going to see segments ranging from a preview of this year's March Madness to a segment on Aair Reese.
Sounds good. What are we kicking it off with today?
We're going to start off with a video on Aair Reese and her artistic talent by yours truly.
My name is Aair Reese. I'm in 12th grade. I've always been into art, but I first got into it in 2017 because I drew this picture of Beyonce, and I was like, this is amazing. I have to keep going. So that's when I first started to really get into it. I've stopped drawing more realistic art because it takes too long, and I've started to draw more random things that are more colorful. So it's just become a lot less realistic, a lot more abstract, I guess. I've always wanted a set art style, but I could never pick what exactly I wanted. But I knew that drawing, it just takes too long sometimes, and it's just a long process. And my style is just it's really how I draw. It's really fast. I can make a lot more mistakes, and it look good because that's what I'm going for. For it to look more sloppy than anything. It's a way to get out emotions, greatly, because it's also just really calming, too. The colors are really what I want people to look at. Certain, colors I use for it, I want people to feel, certain colors make people feel certain things. I've been pushing it on TikTok, a lot more, and it's getting a lot of, attraction, and people really like it, and it's, weird, because something I do so easily, people love. So it's really validating. I do not see myself doing art for a living. Then it will become work, and I really like that it's not work right now, it's just for fun.
Wow, Aair really is an amazing artist.
Speaking of artists, art comes in all kinds of forms, ranging anywhere from abstract paintings like Air's to even dance.
That's right, so let's take a look at what our Knightline Seniors are doing.
I've danced for 14 years, competitively for 13.
I've been dancing since I was 2. I started at studio, and I had 1 year on Knightline. Dance is important to me because it's been such a huge part of my life. It's my favorite sport, and I just love dancing, and I love being a dancer.
I grew up in a dance family, so all my aunts and all my cousins have danced their entire lives. My cousin owned a dance studio. I grew up in a studio. My sister danced before me, so it's just kind of I was destined to do it.
Dance has taught me a really good work ethic and motivation. It keeps me dedicated in a lot of other things that I do in my life.
It's taught me to never give up because there's a lot of times that you just want to stop. Your body hurts, you're tired, there's a lot of practice, but you always find the good in it, and it's always fun, and you meet new people throughout the whole time.
Sports and life in general get hard sometimes, but if you keep working and you keep pushing through it, you'll be really proud of the results, and you'll be proud of yourself for pushing and working hard.
Really just to trust your teachers and choreographers, because there's a lot of the times that they give you something crazy to do and you look at them and you're there's no way. I cannot physically do that. But it all works out, and it actually looks a lot better than you think it will. A lot of the time you feel stupid, but you don't look stupid.
In case you didn't know, Knightline just came back from competing at Nationals in Walt Disney World. Speaking of competitions, do you know what month it is?
That's right, it's March, and that means March Madness. Take it away, Jack.
Being able to say your team won the NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament, commonly known as March Madness, is one of the rarest things in sports you can say. Only 37 teams have won the 68-team tournament in the 83 years since its creation. 2 years ago, the tournament was canceled due to the COVID-19 outbreak. That made for the 2021 season to have one of the most anticipated seasons ever, and it did not disappoint. This year's tournament has a very different storyline coming into play. No team seems to be playing with the consistency you normally see from them. Just a couple weeks ago, on February 26, 7 of the top 10 teams in the AP poll were upset, a record. That's why this year could be the year of the dark horses. There's a lot of underrated teams I bet are going to perform well. Rutgers, they have a lot of really good wins under teams like Purdue, Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State. Indiana, they really underperformed in the month of February and honestly didn't even look like they were going to make the tournament. But after a strong finish to the season, I think they could really be underrated in this tournament. At the end of the day, though, these are the teams that I see as legit and having a real chance at winning the whole thing. First up is Duke. They have so much talent in Paulo Banchero, Mark Williams, and AJ Griffin. Honestly, it could be a storybook ending for Coach K's last year. Next up is Purdue, a really complete team. They look like they can't be beaten when they shoot good from three. It also helps they have the most electric player in college basketball, Jaden Ivey. The last team I'd like to mention is Illinois. Kofi Coburn is elite, and I could easily see him carrying this team far. The thing about this tournament is anybody could win. The first game hasn't even started yet, and people are more excited than ever to see who's going to come out on top.
It's going to be quite a ride, as usual. Who do you think is going to win?
Definitely Duke.
On Coach K's last year?
I really hope they do. They got a real cool history, and so does Jahic.
In case you don't know who that is, here's a story about him by Kyle Button.
I started playing soccer like the age of 6, just kind of messing around, trying to get into it, and then one thing after another got a little more serious, and then here I am. So in high school, I played at Manfull High School, which was my high school. I played at Gallagher. I played part of the academy system, so I really didn't get to play high school soccer. I went on to play at Bradley University, a Division I school, and then I went to SIUE for my last 2 years, another D1 school. Professionally, I went abroad. I went to Bosnia. I played for 2 years before coming back home and signing with Ambush. Into games, I kind of like to relax. I don't want to be too tense going into a game, but at the same time, I want to be locked in, mentally ready to go. So it's kind of a balance of kind of easing my body into it, but knowing it's go time in a couple of minutes. I really think it's kind of a personal drive and kind of wanting it a little bit more than others, and then one thing works after another, and you end up in a good position. My favorite part, it's got to be playing. I'm a hometown kid here, playing in front of my friends and family every weekend. We're at home, and then obviously I'm a director at Gallagher, so all my kiddos are coming out here and supporting me, so that's a big part of it. I mean, most teams get fired up to play here because they see the crowd, they see the arena and all that stuff, so every team that comes in here wants to give it a go, because most places you go, you don't get the atmosphere you get here in St. Louis. I mean, they support us through thick and thin. Sometimes we don't show our best or give our best effort. Like tonight, we were flat in the beginning, but I can't thank them enough for continuing to support us and helping the sport grow.
You know, most athletes warm up to music, but which app do you think has the best workout jams?
I don't know about you, but I'm personally a Spotify person.
Let's see what people at FHN think.
The debate of Apple Music versus Spotify has been around for a very long time, so let's break it down. Statistically speaking, Spotify is the most popular music platform with 160 million paid subscribers, while Apple Music only has 78 million paid subscribers. While both are priced relatively the same, Spotify does offer a free option, while Apple Music does not, making it a little more accessible. With that being said, let's take it to the streets of FHN and get the people's opinion. What's your name and what grade are you in?
I'm Jackson Cutland. I'm a junior.
Do you like to use Apple Music or do you like to use Spotify?
I like to use Spotify because they create playlists for you based on music you like so you can discover new artists, and I think that's a cool trait that Spotify has.
And I hear that you make some music. You want to shout yourself out?
Yeah, Happy Jacks on everything. Let's go.
What's your name and what grade are you in?
My name's Maddie Clark and I'm a sophomore.
Do you use Apple Music or do you use Spotify?
I use Spotify because it has a lot of cooler features than Apple Music does. It also has like Spotify Wrapped, which is cool, and I don't think Apple Music has that.
What's your name and what grade are you in?
I'm Kaylin Hodges and I'm a senior.
Do you like using Apple Music or Spotify?
I like using Spotify because I like making like all the fun little playlists, and I feel like it's just easier to use overall rather than Apple.
Although Apple Music and Spotify are the most popular options, there are others out there, such as Amazon Music and SoundCloud. SoundCloud being another free option with a wider variety than others due to the unreleased content that's posted on the platform.
The people here at North sure do have some interesting choices as to what apps they listen to.
Thanks for the insight, Max.
And now on to a game review by Max Ramirez.
Human Fall Flat is a physics-based puzzle platformer with doughy characters that lead to the wackiest of situations. Human Fall Flat consists of many long levels with puzzles and platforming challenges, and the fun part is that each puzzle doesn't have one solution, so you can find your way to the end of the level in your own unique way. Since you're exploring a big 3D environment, you can move things around to skip one puzzle or a whole chunk of the level. Each level also has its own gimmick of sorts. One level has you connecting electrical wires to open gates, and another has you navigating a huge boat with shipping containers on it. With the game physics, you can get spun around in some gears or launched in a catapult with humorous results. One of the best parts of the game is the online and split-screen co-op. When you add your friends to the mix, there's no part of a level you can't reach. You can swing your friends around, drive a car with them, drive a car into them, or even simply toss them off a cliff. Your friend could even lock you in a shed when you step away from the game for just a minute. Because of its fun physics and multiplayer mayhem, I give Human Fall Flat 8 faceplants out of 10.
I might have to check that out.
And now to wrap up today's show, we're going to get an exclusive sneak peek at your Batman vs. Iron Man podcast.
Hey guys, Sophia and I are dropping our new podcast, Super Crazy, where we talk about Marvel and DC characters and who would win. Today, we're talking about Batman and Iron Man, but before we do that, we wanted to hear your opinions. What's your name and what grade are you in?
Ved Patel, 9th grade.
Who do you think will win, Batman or Iron Man, and why?
Batman, he's richer.
What's your name and what grade are you in?
I'm Maddie Griffin, I'm a junior.
Who do you think will win, Batman or Iron Man, and why?
I gotta say, I would say Batman, but I really think it would be Iron Man, but really just because I like Batman more. I have to pick favorites, yeah.
What's your name and what grade are you in?
Faith Smith, and I'm in 9th grade.
Who do you think would win, Batman or Iron Man, and why?
Iron Man, because he has like a full suit, which like has different abilities.
What's your name and what grade are you in?
My name's Nathan Holloway, I'm a sophomore.
Who do you think will win, Batman or Iron Man, and why?
Iron Man, because he can fly around Batman. Batman can't do anything.
What's your name and what grade are you in?
William Pilch, sophomore.
Who do you think will win, Batman or Iron Man, and why?
Well, I think Batman, because he's actually a detective. He would figure out stuff, and he's pretty smart. Actually, he beat Joker, but he beat pretty much everyone, but they still escape out. So I'm pretty sure it's still Batman, even though Iron Man died, you know?
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Laney.
And stay tuned for our podcast that drops on FHN today.
Laney, can you give us a spoiler for who wins?
I can tell you one thing, Iron Man won't take up 3 hours of your life like the new Batman movie did.
I really hope not. That's 3 hours I'll never get back. Anyways, I'm Freya.
I'm Laney.
Signing off.